Hello, my name is Amy Stone, and I will be giving my persuasive action speech. These are my note cards, which I will be using, and then I also have a handout that I will be giving afterwards. Good afternoon. I'd like to thank you all for being here today and for your participation. Today I'm going to be talking to you about an important topic to me, which is volunteering. With the Christmas season approaching quickly, we know that there's a lot of volunteering needs out there. We see bell ringers and coat drives. We see all kinds of things going on during this season. But in reality, there's a real need for this kind of service year-round. There are many things that we can do, and during the course of this speech, I'm going to try to give you several options that you might be able to use. More specifically, I would like to give you ways that you can personally get involved and make a difference in your own community. Let's start with some reasons why you might want to volunteer. Being a part of your community. If you give to your community, you're going to get back that self-reward that you're helping people in your community. According to the volunteersofamerica.com, everyone has a talent or a trade that they can offer. So if you sit down and think about it and make a list of all the things that you could do, there's probably several things that you could do to help someone in need. Even just saying a kind word a lot of times. So whenever we see the people with the red buckets out there, a lot of times you may have a few people that feel annoyed, but for the most part I think people feel a sense of admiration to the person that's willing to get out there and stand in the cold, to try to donate their time to help others. What they're doing whenever they stand out there with that bucket is not just collecting money, but they're promoting social change in their community. You can promote social change. You don't have to have a politician to do it for you. You don't have to have other people to do it for you. It starts with you in your own community. Now, as I mentioned with the bell ringers and the Salvation Army, that's well known, as many of us know. It is a really great choice, so I'm not trying to knock it at all, but what I do want to do is offer you a few more options. So say that you want to volunteer on a local level. Volunteeringinamerica.gov has a website that you can go to. You can click on your own state. For instance, I live in Missouri, so whenever I clicked on the Missouri website, it offered various tips and tools. It offered different locations where you could go to volunteer and sign up. It's a really helpful site. Another thing that you could do locally is get involved with churches. Most every place has churches, and a lot of places have them in, mass amounts too. So churches are a great place because they offer many things. I mean, anything from missions to community work like food drives, helping collect coats for kids in the neighborhood. They just do a lot of things. So there ought to be something that each of us could find to do there. Another thing that they do is they often participate in the Habitat for Humanity projects. If you go to the Habitat for Humanity site, this is a really good site. It offers assistance programs and projects for people that are in need of homes or rebuilding of homes. And what they do is these churches, members and congregations and stuff will go out and actually help rebuild or build a home for someone that qualifies. You don't have to be a major carpenter or anything like that, but you'd be surprised at the kinds of jobs that you could do, that they can find for you to do. This website offers several things that you can do. They offer the church locations and even places that aren't churches that if you don't want to be involved with the church to do it, there's other places that you can do it as well. Another thing that you could do locally is you could volunteer for your kids' sports teams. You could work for the city leagues, or you could volunteer to be a Cub Scout leader, a Girl Scout leader. These people are influencing our children's lives. They're volunteering their time to help make a difference. There's another organization that I really like, and it's the Big Brothers and Big Sisters organization. Their website says that they help kids ages 6 to 18, and what they do is they provide specific programs for these children to help keep them off of the streets, away from drugs and alcohol and things like that, to offer them a more healthy environment. Also, their website says that they run primarily on donations, and volunteers. So, which shows us that if people wouldn't step up and volunteer, these kids would have nowhere to go. These programs would not be available. So it's very important that people are willing to get out there and to help. Okay, so now that we've touched on some local things, I want to also touch on some larger scale, national, global efforts that you can take. The Peace Corps, we've all probably heard of that. If you go to their website, there's 9 categories of helping that they usually go by. Their primary goal is to help meet the needs of people in other countries that are without. But that falls under these 9 categories, which I'll name just a few, which is like education, food, agriculture. So we can see just by those 3 that I listed that there's going to be a host of things that you can do to help under those specific criteria. Also, FEMA and the American Red Cross are 2 other national organizations. They work hand in hand, as do a lot of other places that have volunteer systems. But I can remember whenever Hurricane Katrina happened in Louisiana that these were the 2 primary that went in to try to help. And of course, as we all know, that their efforts were not, their efforts were great, but they had a really hard time getting them done at first because of the situation at hand. But ultimately, what I want to point out is, at the end of the day, it was the volunteers and people that worked for these organizations that actually came through for these people. So it was very important. The American Red Cross helps in over 70,000 disasters each year. Another way that you can volunteer, which you may not think about, is to donate blood. Donating blood, everybody worldwide needs blood. So you never know when you might be in need of it. You could be in a car wreck, you could have a medical condition. It could be someone that you love that needs it, and hopefully that won't happen. But if it does, you will have done your part in contributing back. So as you can see, the opportunities out there are really endless, as are the needs. I hope that I've been able to really demonstrate how that volunteering actually gives back to you as it gives to someone else. And it's really important for all of us to step up and to challenge ourselves to be more dedicated and give back to our communities. Now, I wouldn't want to close today without leaving you all with some ways that you could do this. And I have, before you leave, I'd like you all to stop and pick up a copy of this, which is a list of all the websites that I listed. And if you have one that you prefer to use, that's fine as well. The important thing is just to get out there and to help someone in need. Doing so will make all the difference. I know that in the course of doing this research, it's really sparked an interest in me to see what I can do to promote change in my society, and I hope that it has in all of you. I urge you all to take this seriously and to see what you can do for your